Your job is at risk thanks to ChatGPT. As a disclaimer, none of what we say should be taken as financial advice. This is purely educational.
Hey guys, if you're interested in building a 6 to 7 figure portfolio using the power of stock investing, head over to the comment section or the description to sign up for our free masterclass so that we share with you exactly how we do it.
Okay, MJ.
Yes.
So we are here again, yet another video about ChatGPT, but this time is about jobs. So please tell us whether what type of job will be at risk because of ChatGPT.
Well, I think the simple answer from where I sit is jobs that are non-creative.
Okay.
Jobs that are
monotonous, repetitive.
Especially in the service industry also.
Okay.
Where monotonous, very repeat-like, you know, that a physical robot can't really do. So what physical robots did was to automate physically mundane tasks. Whereas what ChatGPT will do is mentally mundane stuff. So for example, in law, let's say, perhaps someone to get certain advice on something very basic like conveyancing, let's say, they will have to engage a lawyer and then maybe there's some legal consultation fees involved and all that. ChatGPT will be able to help with all the very mundane basic stuff.
Yep.
Right? Like say, hey, if I want to buy a house or like I want to buy a house, what's the legal process? ChatGPT will do it. You don't need to talk to a lawyer anymore. Right? Technically, you could probably do it through Google, but as we mentioned in previous videos, that Google is a lot more manual. ChatGPT gives you the answer. Okay. So that's just one example, right? So according to this article, programming is a big one, which is like the big irony because the people who create ChatGPT are programmers, so they're disrupting themselves. And I don't care. I don't think they mind also lah.
But they can actually, the good thing is that they can actually cash out
for those who code it.
Yeah, who doesn't code it. Yeah.
So this is one thing that I want to bring up is that we know that one of the things our parents always tell us, and you know, you and I, we are close in age, so our parents are usually, you know, they're 60 now, maybe late 50s, somewhere there. And they will always tell you what's the standard one, right? Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yeah,
don't do business because it's risky. You know, standard lah. Why? Because they saw people succeed in their era to be people like that.
Yep.
So what has happened is that when you reach our time, what we start seeing is that
freelancers.
Yeah. So before that, companies like people like doctors are suffering, right?
Yeah.
In Malaysia, income for doctors haven't really risen. They study so much. Engineers, I mean, they're going to do fine, but it's not what their parents were promising. Accountants, you know, lawyers. Right? Lawyers also are notorious for long working hours and low pay. And it's very simple demand and supply, right? So you go into this field because a lot of what is what your parents tell you to do, and they and your friends also are told the same thing. So guess what? Everyone cram into the same spot. There's only so many law firms available. Then you get oversupply, and then if there's oversupply, then your income will drop lah. It's as simple as that, right?
Correct.
So all the things they ask us to avoid, one of them being like doing business and things like that, suddenly becomes, you know,
the new, correct.
So one of the things that people, our generation, are now telling our kids, for those who are already married or maybe in their 30s, is go learn coding.
Oh yeah.
Right? Why? Because we see that people who are coding or that earn big bucks. But they don't realize they're making the same mistake as our parents. I'm not saying don't learn coding. You should learn coding just as you should learn law and medicine and all that by yourself for general knowledge. But if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket as a career, go into coding now, you have to think a lot harder. I'm not saying it's not possible. Obviously, there are certain things that only humans can do for coding. But man, ChatGPT is really, really eating their lunch. So that's another thing.
Yeah, so there's your basic email, there's your mid-level writing. Yeah, all of these are pretty monotonous, repetitive.
Mid-level writing, I think this is also true.
I mean,
media
like
planning
people
in mind.
even submit their assignments or even like reports.
Yes.
I mean, I have cousins who actually use that, and it's pretty like they don't really need to think lah in terms of their assignment. So everything is just about ChatGPT doing their work only.
So media planning, so how you collect your data and stuff like that. That's also good. Legal, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So these are the few lah. So you realize these are intellectual or mental tasks.
Yep. Correct.
So
what's interesting is that means service-based business will be more attractive in that sense.
No, creative industries.
Creative, right.
So, for example,
like your streamer, online streamer, esports. I don't know.
So then even art also is being disrupted to some degrees. There's AI generated art right now. Like if you go on TikTok, you see a lot of stuff like, generate an art for me. Like how would a country look like as a male? So they'll so there's a lot of this kind of art. So that kind of
draw.ai
technically difficult art, right? ChatGPT or AI can do it.
Yep. That is correct.
But creative industries, like in a way, what we do when we do like content and personality stuff, that is a bit harder to disrupt.
All right. Okay.
F&B is hard to disrupt. That's another thing.
But F&B also, they kind of monotonous some of the thing, right?
But that's on the robot side. But ChatGPT again is mental task, right?
Yeah. All right. Correct.
So F&B cannot. You can mentally taste for us, I guess.
Yep, that is true. That one still need human taste.
But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about this, but I'm just going to touch a little bit about it, which is the great resignation.
Yeah.
So we will actually ChatGPT, because it's going to disrupt the job market that heavily. So there's a lot of jobs going to be replaced. For example, like what you mentioned, the coding.
Yep.
And it's in a highly demanded job scope right now. Everybody wants to get into the industry. So once ChatGPT, and we have even what is that company called? Palantir. Yeah, it's going to make coding easier for essentially everyone.
Correct.
So will that cause like the great resignation to all of these coders, for example? Yeah.
Why someone will resign has many different conditions and factors. So a lot of people resigning is because they are sick of corporate life, they're sick of the 9 to 5. So there's that emotional element as well. But yeah, for sure ChatGPT is going to put a lot of people out of work.
Right. Okay.
And what this does is, because it's replacing mental tasks, the people who become a lawyer and all that, a lot of them wanted to avoid hard work like physical labor, running a business, things like that. Unfortunately, now they're being disrupted.
Yep.
So now it's time for you to use your mental abilities to come up with new stuff or reinvent, or reinvent yourself.
Right. Okay, got it. Okay, so the following question will be, how will the job market look like in the future?
Humans adapt.
Yep.
That is our key advantage over animals. Actually, animals themselves adapt as well. And the people who do well in life and in the future are not necessarily the smartest, the strongest, the fastest, or whatever. It's the person who adapts the best. Right? The example I always give is, for example, do you know why you know what a saber-toothed tiger is?
Yeah.
Do you know why they got extinct? You think about it, as someone with like massive fangs.
Massive fangs.
Like it's so fierce, right? It's an apex predator as well. How do you go extinct?
Probably if I want to like draw comparison between saber-tooth and a megalodon, is it because of the food intake?
It is related, but specifically, what about the food intake? If you had to guess,
I mean, the number of prey that they can actually eat is getting lesser and lesser. So, which results.
That's quite close. That's quite close. So why did the saber-toothed tiger die off, but not the existing tigers? The big difference is that prey started becoming smaller. So the smaller the prey, the more agile you have to be. You have to fit into different forests, and you have to be smaller also, because if you're big and bulky, every prey can see you and they faster run away, right?
Yeah.
So even if you have a big teeth and all that, so what? So this is similar to the job market, right? Like you may have gone into an industry that was previously a saber-toothed tiger industry. Big, powerful, massive. But because things change, requirements that the market requires you to be more nimble, and niches start popping up every now and then, that you have to be more nimble and you have to adapt.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. And the fact that you're here alive means that your ancestors adapted. Right?
Yep.
So you have the ability to adapt.
Okay.
Because you have the ingredients for that to happen.
Okay, so this generation kind of thing, it's more to showing like your previous example, right? Your engineer, doctors, and then now we have more like, in Chinese we call 创业, which means like be your own business owner, selling stuff and everything. Yeah, and that is the current era that we are in. But in the future, we may not even know whether this kind of business will be alive.
It's all a cycle, right? And it also has to coincide with the political and economic environment that we're in. So the silent generation, 73 to 90, right? What were they known for? A lot of them were the Chinese word you used just now, right? What? 创业, right? Yeah. So that's when they have their own business. So they have maybe a kedai runcit, they have their own rubber tapping farm or gold trading business, whatever, right? They were their own people. And they also go through war at the same time, right? Those in their 90s. If they're in their 90s, they will probably be born in the 1920s. So you're looking at, they were teenagers or early 20s during the war. So it's like a very formative experience. And you pair that with the ups and downs of business. So guess what? They're going to tell their kids, go for something stable. Go for something that is recurring income, whatever. So that's where you get the boomers who followed their parents' advice and then got into
go for doctors
or that, and they did well. And boomers were also right after the war, so they were starting from a low base. So big growth, they see a lot of rewards. Gen X is a very tiny generation, very often ignored. So they are like half boomer, half millennial, something like that. But Gen X parents are usually the silent generation.
Yep.
Right?
Correct. Yep.
And so, So boomers, their kids are usually in the millennial zone. And they are telling the millennials to go for that safe job, etc., etc. But then, of course, millennials are experiencing that the job market doesn't really serve them. So when they see like they don't get the same benefits as before. And then it's limited, they want freedom, etc., etc. So then there's not an entire swing, but there's a mini swing moving into the silent generation mentality.
Correct.
Right? Because millennials are born in a somewhat stable environment. So that's why they are more inclined to want to become more independent, have their own thing going on. Generation Gen Z and all that, not quite sure. They're still forming. So we'll see what comes out of them. But it's all in a cycle, because now, right, with COVID happening, for example, it does call into question for a lot of people, a lot of millennials who are now also going to start having kids, things like that. And they may want to start looking for more stable income sources. Right? And so it's always this up and down. I don't know what the Chinese phrase is, but the way Chinese people always think is every solution is an admission ticket to a new problem.
Yep.
Every time you solve something, there's something
there's
new problem. Oh,
correct.
now I get freedom. Oh, but I want stability. Then you say, okay, you strive for stability, you get that. Yeah, but it's so no freedom. Then you're back to freedom. So it's just ebb and flow.
Yeah. Okay. So the final question we have here is, since we have a lot of these AI coming up, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT, or I don't know, there's a lot of things going
correct.
out. The Draw.ai. And then will humans actually, will future humans trust AI more than human knowledge?
Well, look, we trust horses more than our feet, right?
Yeah. Back in the days.
Right,
yes.
right. Then we
also
trusted cars more than horses.
Yeah.
Then we trusted airplanes. I mean, think about airplane, right? It's crazy if you think about it, right? You went 10,000 1,000 feet in the sky. We trust that. Yeah. I can imagine when the airplane first started coming out, everyone was absolutely terrified.
The guinea pigs.
What if the bird flies into your, all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
So for sure, we are going to trust AI more in the future than human things. It's just a natural evolution of things. We create technologies to curb human limitations. But there are certain limitations that we just cannot stop. For example, fraud will exist in the future. In fact, you look at ChatGPT, you think that technology is there to help prevent fraud. ChatGPT now is a petri dish or is soil for fraud.
Yeah.
People can pass exams.
Yeah, correct.
People can do their homework using ChatGPT.
Imagine they like tell a burglar like how do I like get into this house? Yeah.
So then you just send the Google image to the AI and say, okay, like six different entry points. This is the best example. So it's just the next step of technology. And technology is, morally neutral, right? The saying goes, right? The knife that help you cut vegetable can be used to stab you.
Yep.
Right? And one thing that we should all learn about is narrow versus general AI. So narrow AI is going to be fantastic because narrow AI is simply saying, look, I want this objective. So let's say finance. Mr. AI, here's the data. Go do your AI stuff, right?
Yep.
And it's going to do things a lot better than humans. What it will not do better than humans is general AI. So general AI would be what a lot of people imagine AI to be, like this super mind that will replace humans.
Yep.
And I'm not an expert, but I do know from what I hear from the experts is that general AI, we are far away, and it's probably not even possible for general AI to happen.
General AI is going to be like your Jarvis, is it?
No, it's even more than Jarvis actually.
Okay.
It's like iRobot. It's God basically.
Yeah. Okay.
It's basically God, right? A non-human entity that's smarter than humans. It's God. So yeah, that's not possible. And anyone who attempts to build a general AI, I don't think it's going to be a good result. But narrow AI, fantastic, right? Self-driving cars.
Yep.
ChatGPT. Yeah. That I think is the future. And remember, like, technology is there to serve us. We don't serve the technology.
Yep. Exactly. Well put at the end. I think that's to the end for today's video.
Yep,
I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. If you did, make sure you smash the like button and also hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys learned a lot about ChatGPT versus jobs. And with that said, any final words, Jemji?
No, guys, this is a very interesting topic. And we are trying to mix things up. We don't want to talk purely just about finance. Maybe 1 out of 10 video we'll talk about non-finance. Actually, maybe now a bit more. But yeah, guys, let us know, like, actually, if you like us to talk about other things outside of finance, somewhat related, but not entirely finance. We always want to hear your thoughts. And guys, see you in the next video.